April from April's Home, and today I thought I would share with you an inventory of my freezer. I have two freezers. I have a small one in my kitchen alongside my fridge, and then I have a small upright freezer in my garage. Since I've been doing my $100 a week grocery challenge, I thought it would be interesting for you to know what I have in inventory already. I have a very well-stocked freezer and pantry that makes sticking with my budget a little bit easier, and also it will be a good sort of reference point as the year goes on and as I restock my freezer and my pantry to know what I started out with and how I keep that stocked and rotated and things like that. My freezers are currently in quite a state. They're kind of small for the amount of food that I do store, and I need to get them organized. So what I thought I would do with my freezer, both my freezers I should say, is bring everything out, wipe them down. I've got a few more organization bins to add to the freezer, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'll show you a before and an after, and we'll take a look at everything that I have stored in my freezer and get a nice inventory on that. So now I'll go ahead and share with you what my freezers look like before, and we'll get everything out and take an inventory. Okay, so here is a look at my very disorganized freezer here. This is the freezer in my kitchen next to my fridge. It's a little side-by-side freezer. You can see some of the items that I have here. Of course, we are going to take this all out and get this organized. I've got a bunch of random meats down here, some ice cream, meat and ice cream, some boxed appetizers, some frozen items, a bunch of broth that I made up. And in the door here, just got a bunch of really random items stashed here, some nuggets that my grandkids eat, some Cool Whip. Up here I've got my yeast and things like that. This is my ice maker. And yeah, so I've got quite a job. I'm going to go ahead and get this emptied and organized. And here we are in my small upright freezer out in the garage. This freezer is probably like, maybe 4.5 feet tall or something like that. I'm 5'3", and I am a little bit taller than this, so maybe it's like 5 foot tall or something like that. This freezer has a little bit of organization. I've used these bins that I got early in the year to organize my veggies. So I have different veggies assigned to those, and I hope to be making some labels for that just to make it easier to find. If you watched my recent grocery haul, you know that I stocked up on a bunch of frozen cauliflower rice, so I need a bin for that. Got some random ice cream bars and sausages. And then down here, I've got some meats and things and a bunch of just random items kind of tucked here and there, like pasta and things like that. In the doorway of the freezer, I've got frozen fruit, some veggies that don't fit, random little chicken pot pie here, just some random things like pies. And then towards the bottom here, I've got more of the various meats and things. So again, we'll be clearing this all out and reorganizing it and putting it back in. So I'm gonna start bringing some of this stuff in and taking inventory. I also picked up 4 more bins to use in the upright freezer out in the garage. I'm not 100% sure what each one is going to be used for, but I do know that one is going to be used for cauliflower rice. In the meantime, however, I'm going to go ahead and use these baskets to help transport everything from the garage freezer to my table here so that we can take inventory and get everything organized. Okay, so I have emptied out the freezer next to the fridge. I decided to start with the smaller freezer first, and that freezer definitely held a lot more than I realized. So it's really good that I'm laying this all out, kind of organizing it and taking inventory. So as you can see here, I've got a lot of ground beef still, and I will be sharing my tallies with you at the end. Still have this beef bacon. It's like an all beef bacon to try. Got a couple packs left of some little thin steaks and some carne asada. And then I found I had 3 corned beefs from last year that I purchased on sale. So I definitely need to use those up. I'll have to make one to test it out and make sure they're still good before I decide if I'm going to go ahead and use those for this year's St. Patrick's Day meal. but we definitely do make a lot of corned beef this time of year, so we'll definitely get through that. And then I've got a couple of tri-tip roasts here. All of this meat was purchased whenever I find a really good sale. I will jump on that. A local butcher from our local grocery store posts on our town Facebook page sometimes when you have some really good deals in, and if you're paying attention to that, you can get some really great deals. I don't know if every town's butcher does that, but it's really nice that ours does. And then let's see, I've also got a 1-pack left of stew meat. Got a little bit of ground bison. It looks like 4 pounds of ground bison, as well as 1 bison steak. And then I've got 1 roasting chicken here. And then I've got 1 turkey breast here, a fully cooked turkey breast. Got a couple of steak and stout pies, one of our favorites. A few dessert treats and appetizers here. This boba kit from Trader Joe's, some mochi, some pumpkin cheesecake croissants. I bought these in November and never got around to making them. And then a couple of sheets of puff pastry, the White Castle burgers I recently purchased, some jalapeno poppers, some Philly cheesesteak humbao, and fried olive bites from Trader Joe's. So a few appetizers to use up. And I've got a little bit of turkey. Hopefully there's more out in the garage, but I've got a couple pounds of, looks like 3 pounds of ground turkey, and then some turkey sausage and taco flavored turkey. Looks like I have 4 pounds of sausage, some chicken patties, a container of Cool Whip here, and one of the Costco pork tip roasts there, some maple bacon, some hash browns, a bag of salmon fillets, and this is some of the broth that I made up around in November. Some turkey broth from our Thanksgiving turkey, as well as a bunch of beef bone broth. Couple of pounds of butter there. A few mixed veggies. Most of these go out in the freezer, but they must have worked their way inside. And 3 bags of potatoes, some hash browns, fries, and wedges, and a Totino's pizza. Over here, we have a couple packs of raspberries that I packaged up last summer. These are some currants from our currant bushes, and then a couple packs of yeast. I also have a bin here of some of the items that are opened, like our ice cream here, this half-used puff pastry, a few half-open little chicken nuggets, and some salmon burgers, some appetizers like these White Castle, White Castle snacks. They're very good. Half a bag of fries, a couple of hash browns, and some more of our little tiny ice cream. So these are the opened items that we'll be working through. Because of the size of my table, I'm going to go ahead and empty the outer fridge in sections. These are all the items that were in the door of the outside freezer, the little small upright freezer. So I have here some raspberries and a berry blend, a couple of the berry blends, some cherries, blueberries, some blueberries that I packaged, and raspberries that I packaged from the farmers markets this year, and some frozen cranberries. Got some more chicken nuggets and French toast bites, some of my little frozen onions and kale. Hopefully there will be room to put these in my vegetable bins. I've got 3 Sara Lee pies, a peach pie, a mincemeat pie, and a Dutch apple pie. I know that this mincemeat pie is getting a little on the older side, so I really need to think about using that up here pretty soon. I've got a few packs. These are full packs. This one I think has 1 left of the boba ice cream bars. These were left over from the end of last summer. And now it's so cold we don't find ourselves reaching for these too often, but they are absolutely delicious and one of our favorite dessert treats to get from Costco. And let's see, we have some ground elk here, as well as some buffalo stew meat. We've got more of the ground turkey, some ground turkey chorizo, 2 more pounds of beef, another turkey breast, some more salmon portions. Looks like we have 4 more packs of bacon, some mild Italian sausage, some knockwurst links and breakfast links from a local sausage maker, and some Costco breakfast sausages and more Italian sausages. one pork hock, as well as 2 packs of stew meat from a local farm here. So again, I'll be marking down and sharing the total with you at the end of the inventory of all these as I set them out here and look at them, kind of getting them organized, as well as marking everything down in my notebook so I know how much I have. And when we're all done with this project, I'll go ahead and share that with you. And next is the top shelf of our upright freezer. I have a bunch of cauliflower rice that you've probably seen me acquire in the last couple grocery hauls, a pack of hash browns, some crinkle fries, a couple bags of tater tots, and more shredded hash browns, another bag of chicken nuggets, as well as some crispy chicken strips, the little potato smiles, some cabbage pierogies, a little appetizer of taco bites, and another Totino's pizza, and a little individual meal of spaghetti with meat sauce, as well as another of the fried olive bites. I have a couple more packs of Italian sausage here, as well as another pack of Oktoberfest links, 2 bags of meatballs, 1 pack of chicken drumsticks. Then we have some veggies that wouldn't fit in our normal veggie totes, so I've got some green beans, chopped spinach, the veggie spirals I just bought, a couple more packs of the onion, celery, and carrots that I packaged up a while back, another tub of Cool Whip, a pack of asparagus that I packaged from the farmer's market this summer, and the pizza that I most recently got in my Winco grocery haul. So that is the top shelf. Now I'm going to go ahead, take inventory, get this set aside, and bring in the second shelf. The second shelf down is largely organized. We've got our little baskets here, which I purchased 4 more of, and this is where I keep all of our veggies. So I keep like carrots and sprouts and peas and carrots in here, and then some mixed veggies in here. Some of the random veggies in this one, like asparagus and green beans, mushrooms, things like that, and this one is dedicated to my pepper and onion blends. So these are the bulk of our frozen veggies, and I'm going to go ahead and take inventory of these and move on to shelf number 3. So now we are on shelf number 3, and before I mention shelf number 3, I just thought if you are doing a similar freezer clean out, it is really good to have a pair of dedicated gloves here. These are kind of like a rubberized gardening glove, but we keep these out in the garage specifically for when I'm organizing my freezer, or if I've purchased a bunch of freezer items that I know I need to put away. My hands get really super cold working in the freezer, and this really makes the process a lot nicer. So definitely a good tip for either stocking or organizing your freezer to have a dedicated pair of rubberized gardening gloves, or just rubber, good thick gloves of some sort to prevent your hands from getting too cold from the freezer. So now moving on to the third shelf, we've got some chicken here, it looks like. One 3-pack here of the Costco thighs, 2, actually looks like 6 individual packs of drumsticks, another big family pack of drumsticks, 2 of the tortellini from Costco, and looks like we've got 3 bags of chicken breasts and chicken tenderloins. So we have 3 tri-tips here. Again, we found these on a really good sale. This was on a buy one get one free sale around early winter last year. So we really need to get using these up, but it's super nice to have these in the fridge. We have some St. Louis style pork spare ribs. These are getting on in age, so I really need to just thaw these out and cook them up. My husband really likes these, so I'm going to go ahead and just make those as a treat here coming up real soon, I think. And then we've got a couple bags of beef soup bones, a couple more pork hocks, 1 more bag of tater tots, 2 more bags of the tri-blend that I made up from Azure Standard of the celery, carrots, and onions that I use for soups, and a pumpkin pie. And for the bottom and final shelf of the upright freezer, I have a couple of packs of beef here, some carne asada, and some thinly sliced steaks. Got another 5 pounds of ground beef. Got 3 of these little ham steaks, 1 more pack of sausages, a big family pack of tater tots, a medium-sized one, and then some more steak fries, 1 more pack of chicken tenderloins, 1 more pie, and some more raspberries, as well as 2 little corn dog kid cuisine meals. So that wraps up everything that is in my freezer. I'm going to go ahead and finish organizing that, as well as finishing up my inventory, and I'll be back to share with you how the freezers look once they're organized and our inventory. Okay, so I've got everything back out into the freezer here. It is still really crowded. We still really need to use down a lot of the different meats and items. One thing we really need to use down and then stop keeping so many in stock are all of these pies. I normally only keep like 1 or 2 on hand for company, but it looks like we're backed up and have 5 pies. That's way too many, but that's okay. We will be able to use those up at family dinner nights for desserts and things like that. Otherwise, though, they're kind of stacked on top right now. There's a couple cool-ups in the back also. I thought that kind of matched with pies. And then this is all of my cauliflower rice, so I'll have to kind of move things around to get at that until I can get these pies used down. This is my bin for fruits. All of my frozen fruits are in there. This shelf largely stayed the same. I've got my bell pepper strips in here, some of my mixed vegetables and peas and carrots and peas in here, some of the random vegetables like asparagus and kale and mushrooms in there, and then the broccoli as well as broccoli blends that we eat for dinner all the time up in this one here. This weekend we'll be using up at least 3 or 4 of these bell pepper strips when I make chicken fajitas for the whole family, so that will kind of remove some of these here on the side and make that fit a little bit nicer. They do kind of topple around and stuff, but it is so nice having these baskets. Back before I had these baskets, it was just a whole shelf of random frozen veggies, and it was really hard to find the ones I wanted, and also it was really hard to keep track of what I needed when I went to the grocery store. Now I know that if one of these bins starts getting low, I know exactly what ones to add to my list. I also got one of my packs of salmon alongside here just because I didn't have a spot for that right now. The second shelf down is all of our meats. Actually, the last 2 are all of our meats here. So over here we have our ground turkey, which I use all the time, so I don't love that it's super kind of piled over a bit. And again, as we work that down, we'll be remedying that. I would like to keep this freezer running closer to like 80% full, not 110% full, which it is kind of right now. Also on top of turkey, I've got a little bit of the ground bison. Down below that, I've got some backup hamburger. This is the newer hamburger in the inside freezer, which I'll show you in a minute. I've put the rest of the hamburger, the older hamburger that I would like to use up first. We are cooking up one of the packs of tortellini right now to go alongside of some chicken we're cooking up for tonight's dinner. I've got my ham steaks here, and then this is the chicken, a lot of the chicken, the bone-in style chicken, and then here in the center is all of our sausage. Back behind this is our whole chicken as well as our turkey breasts and our pork roast. And then down in the bottom bin here, that's all of our beef, all the different cuts of beef and steaks and things like that we need to use up. Here in the doorway, I've kind of kept the theme in the doorway soups here. Everything to make soups. On the top here, I've got some soup bones, a ham hock, and some beef bones. I have tucked in my little block of spinach here. I do prefer to keep my spinach up on top. Then I've got 2 shelves of broth here. I'd like to keep it no more than 2 shelves of broth, so I'll make sure to use those up before I make any more broth. And then on the bottom here, again, we have a little bit of overflow broth, 2 more packages of ham hocks, and then this is where I like to keep my bacon. I would like to use up that broth down there, and then there really should be a few pounds of butter. I brought in the 3 pounds of butter that we had in our freezer, and I am shocked that I don't have more than that. I usually have like at least 10 to 12 pounds of butter on hand, so that's definitely something I'll be including in upcoming grocery trips. And then down on the bottom, I've got my soup blend of veggies that didn't fit on the veggie shelf. These are the celery, carrots, and onions, as well as some of the other diced seasoning blends and 1 other ham hock. So that is how the outside upright freezer turned out. I'm really happy with that, and I'm so glad to have taken inventory so that I know what I have and I can continue working this down. Again, I really don't want to add much more to this until I work this down. I would like this to be running about half. I would like that to be at least half the beef so that the other half could be chicken tenderloins. I'll show you where our chicken tenderloins ended up. They ended up in the inside freezer. We're cooking 1 pack and we have 3 packs left, which is about how much I'll cook for family dinner night this weekend. So I'll definitely need to stock more boneless, skinless chicken breasts and tenderloins. But yeah, I would like to fill half this basket with that, but I can't until I use up all this beef. So now I'm going to go ahead and bring you inside and we can take a look at the refrigerator freezer. And here is how the refrigerator freezer looks. I've eaten a few things since I put this back in. I also pulled out a couple of things that looked like they were just a little bit too old to go ahead and save. Again, I'll share with you my final inventory. So here on the top, I've put some prepared foods and appetizers and things like that, as well as our ice cream bars. That's usually what I like on this shelf. The second shelf down are potatoes, things like French fries and tater tots and things like that. It's pretty full right now, so that's definitely an area I'd like to work down. The next shelf down is chicken nuggets. There's also a bag of chicken tenderloins in there, frozen chicken tenderloins, and some overflow potatoes with the tater tots there. So I'd really like this shelf to mostly be like chicken nuggets and chicken tenderloins. And then off to the side here, we've got a couple Totinos and kid cuisines, as well as our steak and stout pies. The bottom drawer here is ground beef and ground sausage. Got one 3-pound pack and the rest are 1-pound packs. So those are the ones that I want to work through first. In the top drawer here is where I keep my yeast, as well as those few little currant berries from my garden. And then this is my ice cream drawer here. I've got one of the extra boba bars in there just so I didn't have to keep a whole box. These are some of the packages that are open that we're working through, as well as a few more of the ice cream cups. And down on the bottom are open containers also, as well as the little hash browns that we eat for breakfast. So that's where I would keep things like if I had breakfast sausages or sandwiches or anything for breakfast like hash browns, or any open packages. That's where I would keep them, in these 2 drawers here. So I'm really, really happy with how both of the freezers turned out. And now for our final freezer inventory. So here is how I've done it. I've just written it in my little small notebook. I use this for, you know, different things that I plan, meal planning, different household project planning, things like that. It's always great to have a little notebook around to write these things down in. If you wanted, you could also print out a freezer inventory page. They have a bunch of them that you can print out online and put those in your housekeeping notebook if that's the way you do it. And that's something that I'm definitely considering for the future. But for now, I just wanted to get it written down in my notebook here. So we'll go ahead and start with the meat here. And in beef, we've got 27 1-pound packs, although actually I just cooked up 2, so I'm going to go ahead and mark that down to 25. And I've got one 3-pound pack, 3 of the corned beefs, 2 of the carne asadas, 3 of the packs of little thin steaks, 1 pack, as well as 2 small packs of stew meat, 5 tri-tip roasts. So that's something I had no idea I had out there. I thought I had maybe 1 or 2 or maybe 3. But I had no idea I had 5. So we're definitely going to have tri-tip on the menu over the next couple of months. And then beef soup bones, I have 2 bags of those. We have bison out there. We've got 4 pounds of ground bison, 1 bison steak, and 1 pack of bison stew meat. For pork, we've got 3 ham hocks, 3 ham steaks, 4 pounds of ground sausage, 1 pork loin roast, 7 packs of bacon, 5 packs of Italian sausages, 1 pack of breakfast sausage, and 1 German sausage. A couple of those we used up that you saw when I pulled them out. We went ahead and used some of those up. In the chicken category, we have 1 whole chicken, 2 individual chicken burgers, a pack with just 2 burgers in it, 2 bags of chicken nuggets, 4 bags of drumsticks or packs of chicken drumsticks, 1 pack of thighs, 2 boneless, skinless frozen breasts, as well as 2 packs of the boneless, skinless tenderloins. And that's definitely something that I need to add more of, because we go through that in a week easily, quite often, especially if I'm making chicken for a family dinner night, then that wouldn't even be enough for that. So that's definitely something to do. And that's the wonderful thing about having an inventory like this. I'll be able to look this over whenever I make my meal plan and my grocery list. So this is going to be really, really helpful. And that way we could get this meat used up and rotated out, and then purchase fresh meat to put in its place. So good rotation there. And then with the turkey, we've got 7 pounds of ground turkey and 3 pounds of miscellaneous flavored. We've got the taco flavored and chorizo flavored, things like that. And then also 2 of the cooked Costco turkey breasts, 2 4-packs of salmon, and a random pack of a pound of ground elk. So that is our meat category. So plenty of meat in there. It's wonderful to know that I still have all this. However, I do know that I still need to pick up that chicken. And then here we have the veggie category. We have a big, a bunch of categories in veggies. We love our veggies. So we have the 1 pack of sweet potatoes, 1 pack of mushrooms, 1 of the broccoli cauliflowers, 2 of the broccolis. We go through our broccoli and broccoli cauliflower as well as our California blend here very, very frequently. These 5 will be gone in a week, so this is something I buy almost every week. So broccoli cauliflower 1, broccoli 2, the tri-blend or California blend, the one with the carrots, cauliflower, and broccoli. We've got 2 bags of that. That's our favorite. We've got 8 bags of bell pepper blend, the ones with just either tricolor peppers or the red and green bell peppers with onions. We've got 8 packs of those left. I used up 3 on the weekend when I was making a family dinner. We have 4 bags of the mixed classic veggies, 5 bags of the green peas, 12 bags of riced cauliflower, 1 bag of kale, 2 packs of frozen onions, 5 packs of soup mix. I just used up 1 today. And then let's see, 4 packs of green beans, 1 box of spinach, 4 packs of asparagus, 2 bags of corn, 1 bag of carrots. That's something I'll definitely want to add to my list. 2 packs of Brussels sprouts, and 3 peas and carrots. It's another one that I use a lot of. Okay, so then on to fruit. We don't use frozen fruit as often. I often will just make it into a fruit crisp or very occasionally something like a smoothie, but I haven't been doing that a lot lately. So we do need to use these up and rotate them out and add in the fruit that we'll be using more of. I have 6 packs of raspberry, 2 packs of mixed berry, 3 blueberries, 2 cranberries, and 1 cherry. So those are our veggie and fruit category. And then lastly is sort of the random miscellaneous categories here. We've only got 3 butters left. That was really shocking to me. Definitely something that needs to be on the list every week until we start building that supply back up. And then Cool Whip, we have 2 of those. Puff pastry, I have 1 unopened package and 1 half used up. And then I've got I had 8 beef broths and I used 3 in a soup that I'm cooking right now as we speak, and then 2 turkey broths. And it's nice, I love the dedicated shelves that I've made up for that. That way I know when I'm getting low that I can make up a big batch of whatever broth that I'm currently cooking. I think the next one I'll be making is a big pot of chicken broth. For potatoes, we have 3 hash browns, 3 fries, 1 pack of potato wedges, 5 tater tots. So that's definitely something I'd like to use up. I don't normally keep 5 bags of tater tots on hand. And we have 1 pack of the little potato smiles. And then the prepared foods. This is a category that I am kind of trying to get away from a bit, especially as I switch to a different style of eating. So we'll just be slowly using these up. We have 5 pies. We have now only 2 pot pies left. We did eat some of those for lunch. And then we have the 3 pizzas, 3 of the little prepared meals, and then 6 boxes of appetizers. I may have missed one in there, but that's okay. You saw them in the refrigerator freezer. That's what we have there. And then for ice cream, we have 7 of the little vanilla ice cream cups, half of a container of the brownie or chocolate ice cream. In there, we've got 2 boxes of the boba popsicles, as well as the individual one that we have in there, and then a box of pumpkin tarts. That's just what I'm calling them, the little pumpkin dessert that I got from Trader Joe's. So those are our miscellaneous category. So that is my freezer inventory, and now you have a better idea when I'm sharing my meal planning and grocery planning what I have on hand. And I will probably update this in a few months, and we'll see how my new organization system is keeping up, as well as if we're working down any of this inventory. I'll be really curious to see how long it takes to kind of rotate through this, how my new organization system works, and how it helps me in my meal planning. I really love to have everything organized. So I hope you enjoyed taking a look at everything that I have in stock in my freezer, as well as how I've got that organized. Next up, I'll be tackling the pantry and sharing that with you as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.